All right, well, this is it. This is Game 6. There is no tomorrow for our team if we lose. And you look back to the beginning of the series, a 2-1 overtime victory in Game 1, a 5-2 loss in Game 2, a 7-3 stinker in Game 3, a crazy 5-4 overtime victory, and of course we dropped the last game 3-1 as we now come back home for Game 6. It's do or die. There's no tomorrow if we lose. And, I mean, there's not really a tomorrow for Edmonton if they win. I mean, the cup is theirs, basically. Well, it's put up or shut up for your Carolina Hurricanes. This is game number 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers can sadly hoist the cup on our ice in front of our fans tonight, should they claim victory. And we've already got a chaotic start, as I'm going to play this behind the net. And that was bad. That was really dumb. Draisaitl, we've made the early save on a bad turnover coming off of my stick blade. Boy, you have the Oilers come out flying. And this is just do or die time for our team. Our offense has got to find a way to solve Jack Campbell here in Game 6. Well, it just plain and simply, it's not my fault that our offense has run into a freaking Vezina Trophy looking Jack Campbell. Might as well go ahead and hand this guy the Conn Smythe Trophy, just the way he's been playing in this postseason. There's nothing I can do about it. A slap shot from an odd angle from Leon Draisaitl. The first line is humming for Edmonton early in this game. They've got the early going. Another handle for Draisaitl. Back to McDavid, blocked away, and McDavid will recollect, and we made another save on the backboard. Yeah, let's stack them pads, bro. Roslovic to the point. Hedman, it's just all firepower for Edmonton right now. Can we just get a clear? And we have survived the early possession off the Edmonton Oilers. Severson finds Hyman, and the Oilers look to go the other way through the middle. It's Conor McDavid, and he snipes it glove side. Unfortunate to begin Game 6. It's the kind of series it's been. Edmonton has found ways to just grab the upper hand and grab the momentum in games in this series when it's mattered the most. This is the biggest game we've played yet. This is the biggest start in a lifetime. And we're already trailing on the scoreboard 1-0. We desperately want to force a Stanley Cup Final Game 7 up in Edmonton. We want to play those games. We want to play that game. We can't win the Cup on home ice tonight. In fact, if we do win the Stanley Cup in this universe, it will not be on home ice. It will be up in Edmonton if we win it. And might I remind you that Conor McDavid is not a Stanley Cup winner in this universe. So the Edmonton Oilers have not made a Stanley Cup Final with Conor McDavid on the roster in this universe. And as well as in real life, but not in this universe to this point until now. So McDavid is still chasing that Stanley Cup championship. The foundation has been laid early in this game to get that done. I want to get that cup here because what an awkward save for me to make with the left pad. But I want to get that Stanley Cup because there's no guarantee we will ever get back here again in the career mode. There is not a guarantee. It's much like real life. It's one of those things where how often do you get the chance to be on a team that makes a run all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, much less win the actual Stanley Cup? So there's not a guarantee we'll get back here. And I just want to outline the future as well, especially should this be the end of our season tonight. Hopefully it's not. But should this be the end of our season, I do want to outline it for you that I am coming back to Carolina for another season. We've got a 2-year contract. That's what we signed. So we signed for 2 years with the Hurricanes. And I'm planning on coming back, whether we're defending the Stanley Cup or not, because I want to return. Either we don't win the Cup tonight and we lose in the Stanley Cup Final here. I mean, either we lose the Cup here or we win the Stanley Cup and we get to defend it. But either way, if we lose the Stanley Cup, then we've obviously got unfinished business in Raleigh before we leave, and I want to try to make the best shot at it that I can. That was a close one-time touch in the slot area. Barry walking in undefended. This is just a great start for our team defensively. And look at this. We've sprung Drew in, who still cannot find a way to score on Jack Campbell. Boy, has Campbell been our offense's Achilles heel in this entire series. I mean, the main reason really Edmonton is competing for a Stanley Cup right now, it feels like, is Jack Campbell. And I said coming into this season that we have unfinished business here because we did, cradle that for a moment and we'll play it out. And I said coming into this season, before season 4 here, before we went into season 4, I said we had unfinished business. That's why we came back. We had contract offers in the summer, and we rejected them. We decided we'd come back to Raleigh and spend another season or two with the Hurricanes, see what we can get done. And I'm just outlining the plan so everyone knows what to expect. We're staying a Hurricane for definitely one more season. I mean, we got drafted here. We're going to score off the rebound. Who else but Dylan Larkin, the captain, showing true leadership. And that's one way to get the team right back in the game. We were trailing 1-0, struggling for offense. It took a shot from Lindell, a rebound to Larkin's stick to put it home. And boy, am I thrilled to finally see that rubber biscuit go right past Jack Campbell into the back of his net. But going back to my original point, we were drafted here to the Hurricanes. I feel like I have a sense of loyalty. I owe this franchise a chance to win the cup. That's what we're trying to get done here. I have a chance to win it with my hometown team, drafted by my hometown team, starting these important games for the team. There's nothing I want more than to lift Lord Stanley's Cup over my head at the end of the season 4 here. And if it doesn't happen, then we have one final shot in season 5 to get it done. The Hurricanes with prolonged possession, winning another face-off, so it's the most possession we've seen in the attacking zone, at least for an extended period of time, in quite a few games. Nugent Hopkins working things to Severson now from the half wall. Nugent Hopkins bumped off the puck, and Lindell helps his D partner out, and his D partner makes the breakout happen through the neutral zone. Seth Jarvis shooting, rebound, another rebound. That's one thing I've noticed about Jack Campbell. He makes a lot of saves, but he gives up a lot of second chance opportunities, and we need to be able to get to these second chance opportunities and corral them into the back of Campbell's net there. With the final 13, less than that now, winding off the clock. Another save by Jack Campbell. Final 6 seconds. Face-off won by Edmonton. They'll take it to center. Draisaitl may shoot, but he will not get a shot away because of great defending. And we've got a 1-1 tie going into the first intermission because of that goal by the captain. All right, we got an even game, even on the scoreboard through one period of play. We're not playing too terrible through an elimination game. We are facing our potential last game of season 4. And might I remind you one more time that if this game is the end of our season, then that means Edmonton lifts the Stanley Cup on our ice, which I do not want to see. Roslovic on the line with McDavid on the Edmonton top line. I don't like when D'Angelo handles the puck in front of my net like that. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think nice save on McDavid. Yeah, celebrate that save. Now we got to get back up because they have re-corralled the puck. A save on Roslovic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Puloharvi was on the line with McDavid and Draisaitl, and it seems Roslovic has replaced him, unless I'm getting things wrong. I don't think Roslovic was always on the top line with McDavid and Draisaitl, but I could be wrong. I've only been facing this line how many times in this best-of-7 series? D'Angelo knocked heavy to the boards by Victor Hedman, who has had a multitude of heavy collisions in this series with our players. We're going to need ice bags at the end of this series. And of course, as of the date of recording this, oh my goodness, Holloway missed it, just barely missed the net. But as of the date recording this, the Edmonton Oilers have been fully eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoff contention. So the 2006 rematch we have going on here is no longer a real-life possibility. Of course, you know, myself being a Hurricanes fan, I'm thrilled with the postseason they've had so far. And I'm just hoping they can continue doing damage. But I'm just along for the ride right now. I'm not going to try to get too carried away. I know Florida is going to be a very, very difficult and intense series. I could easily see that one going 7. Got to put a lot of respect to the Florida Panthers for what they've done in this playoffs. Nobody expected them to really do much of anything But a lot of people, I think, tend to forget very quickly. This is a Panthers team that won the President's Trophy last year, so they do know how to get it done. They've been successful, and I know their season ended in complete disappointment, much like the Bruins season ended in disappointment this year as President's Trophy winners. And sometimes it just feels like a team has to go through some losing in order to figure out how to win, if that makes a little bit of sense. You got to figure out how to win from losing first. And it feels almost kind of like a rite of passage, if you will. I know the Hurricanes have been through a fair share of losing the last couple of years. They had a conference final appearance in 2019, which was a massive achievement for that team. They way overachieved, making their first playoff appearance since 2009. They had significantly overachieved that year. Oh my goodness, that was just off the side of the net. And, the Florida Panthers, they had a massive overachieving season, I'd say, last year. And I guess with high expectations, they didn't quite have the season they wanted to in the regular season, but they've shown that they're a team built for the playoffs. They're not going to be an easy out, as has been proven to this point so far. And the other thing is the Edmonton Oilers in real life have been through quite a bit of losing, and another season where they failed to get it done. They made a trip to the conference final last year and got knocked out by the eventual Cup champion Avalanche. And it just feels like it's just one of those things that some teams have to go through, and I think eventually Edmonton will probably break through should they keep this core together of Draisaitl and McDavid. I really do believe that one day the Edmonton Oilers will find a way through. They'll win a championship. It's just a matter of when, not if. The only thing that I'd say, Edmonton really needs to find some consistent goaltending. I feel like the goaltending kind of let them down in the Vegas series. And the other thing that kind of let them down, we got D'Angelo. He's not letting us down right now. That is a massive goal. It gives us the lead in Game 6. We're running late in the second period, so we're getting close to the final period of play in regulation. We got a lead now. This feels really good. We got a little under 25 minutes of total game time left in regulation, of course. And we have a lead. I got to backstop this lead now. And going back to my point as well, Edmonton, they needed a little bit better goaltending. And the other thing that Edmonton really needed is they needed to be better at 5-on-5. A lot of people say this is a common criticism of the Oilers, is they're power play merchants. And they rely too much on McDavid and Draisaitl to do things on the power play. They're a high-octane team. And we've seen this with Toronto. They're a team in the past that have been all offense. Nice save on Roslovic. And we've seen the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're all offense in the past and still kind of a high offensive playing team. And sometimes it proves to you that offense doesn't necessarily get it done in the playoffs just because you have a lot of high-end skill and top caliber talent. I think it proves to you that, oh my goodness, we got a 3-1 lead. We have a 2-goal advantage late in the second period. This is amazing. We might actually be able to push this series to 7. Maybe I should just continue having discussions about the playoffs. We scored 2 goals while I'm discussing the current playoffs. Get a couple more because I have a gut feeling we're going to need every little bit of insurance we can possibly get in this game. This is an Oilers team that can strike very quickly, and they can strike in huge numbers. We've seen that happen in real life. Look at the speed of McDavid, and well defended by Josh Morrissey. We need that kind of defensive effort in front of us. But we've seen in real life before that high-octane offensive teams don't always go far in the playoffs. It's not a guarantee. I think depth is a far more important attribute for a team that wants to go deep, and getting good goaltending as well will carry a team deep. We're going to go into the third period with a 2-goal advantage over the Edmonton Oilers. All right, guys, I've backstopped you to this point. I've given you an opportunity to take a 2-goal lead. Now, we need to do everything we can in our power to finish the job. We have a job to complete. It's a massive task at hand because 20 minutes of third period action is a lot of game to go. And we're going to need to stay out of the penalty box. That's another important thing. Don't take penalties. I don't believe to this point that there has been a single penalty in this game. I don't think either team has had a power play to this point. That's a huge save from Campbell to keep his team at just a 2-goal deficit. And this is, in my opinion, oh my goodness, did we just make a save on Draisaitl? How did we keep the puck out? You're darn right I'm going to celebrate. Here's the initial chance. It's McDavid who throws it on net. Awkward rebound. And it's my nimbleness to get back and make a second save, is it not? I don't even know how we kept this out. Oh, he fanned on it. He completely flubbed on it. What? Well, I got incredibly lucky on that save on Leon Draisaitl. He basically put it right back into my pad as the pad was just above the goal line, I guess you could say. It was just above the goal line. And it keeps things at a 2-goal advantage for the time being for the Hurricanes. This lead will not be safe until the final horn sounds. I always say, against a team that can strike the way that Edmonton can, I'm not going to feel comfortable until the final horn has gone off. I say we just do the whole Coach LaBelle 1-4 trap strategy to the end of the game. And there's Zach Hyman. It's just, that was a tough play. Well, that was pretty bang. The puck got blocked down and it went right to Hyman. And I didn't really stand much of a chance of adjusting. And you know what's tough about that? That goal comes really early in the third period of play. There's still 14 and a half minutes to go here in regulation. And the Oilers have struck early. That gives them a chance to make up that 1-goal deficit. Plenty of period to make up a 1-goal deficit. And now I'm officially a little bit nervous again. All of a sudden, the nerves have come back. The tingling sensation is back. We make a massive save on Draisaitl. He batted it out of the air. How do we keep that out of the net as well? That's 2 in this period. Oh man, is Draisaitl threatening to score in the third? We've kept him out on 2 massive saves that have huge ramifications, because had that gone in, that of course would have tied it. We stretched the pad out just in time. Yeah, I'd say the last thing that we need to do in this game is grant Edmonton a power play, because they're probably going to score on it. And we've got 3 goals past Campbell. That's a massive check mark for our offense. To get at least 3, I feel like we're going to need 4. We could definitely use the insurance as we reject the puck back to the slot. Not the most pristine of rebound control, not even the most pristine of glove saves on Roslovic. It's going to get out to center. And I do implore with my offense to please get a 4th one if we can find a way to strike again for 4 goals past Campbell. The insurance would be helpful, and we've done it. We've gone and taken a slashing penalty with 11 minutes to go. Just felt like Asa Lindell got a little too desperate on that slashing call. And here we go, the dreaded power play. I just mentioned it. Do not put the Edmonton Oilers in the power play. We're going to go to perhaps the longest penalty kill of the entire season right here. My heart rate has gone up exponentially as Edmonton begins a long 2-minute. Okay, that's in the bench. I about had a heart attack for a second there. I swear a 5-on-3 would have done it. That would be the last thing this team needed to do, would be to put Edmonton on a 5-on-3 on a stupid delay of game. It was nearly a delay of game. That was a nice save. If we can just get through this PK right here. I like our team's chances at 5-on-5. I do. The big thing is we've taken this penalty. That's unavoidable. We just got to do what we got to do. We got to kill this off. And then we got to get back to playing at even strength. McDavid saved into the glove. Hopefully we can get it down the ice, and that will kill more time. This is purely about surviving 1 penalty kill right now and then praying that we don't take any more. We got to get back to 5-on-5. And then, as I was mentioning, we got to get back to our 1-4 trap. We just keep flinging it into our own bench. All right, if you guys could actually make a good, decent, clean clear, it would be extremely helpful for this penalty killing purpose. Roslovic, save. We reject it mightily back to Nugent Hopkins. Unfortunately, Ryan Graves will flip this down the ice. And with that, I'd have to imagine this penalty is pretty much killed. It's not entirely over. And oh my God, Graves! We stack the pads on Roslovic. What a massive save. Stacking the pads. That was an almost unfortunate break off of the stick of Ryan Graves. Oh my goodness. Ryan Graves with almost the boneheaded play of the century right here. He throws the clearing attempt off Roslovic. Look who corrals it. Timmins isn't really doing much of anything on this play. We stacked the pads beautifully, perfectly timed to make a save, putting those wall of Brian's beast pads up there to keep the puck out. I think we've found our thumbnail for this video. You want to talk about timely saves? That's the most timely save in the entire history of the universe. Stacking the pads on Jack Roslovic on to pick up Ryan Graves on his stupid clearing attempt. I mean, I get it. He's trying to flip it out with some urgency, but you know that we could have done without that turnover. I've kept the team in a game with a lead. Late in the game here, we're winding it down. I mean, 7 minutes is a long way to go. We're going to need every stop we can get. Oh my God, I've got freaking Nugent Hopkins running into the goal crease. I don't know what the objective was there. Just keep it hemmed in into the attacking zone. The rest of the game, I can appreciate that. More attack here. Roslovic across. Oh my God, there was so much traffic in front. We're just going to cover it. The rebound, not super favorable off the inboards there. 5 minutes, and I'm praying to the heavens. Hedman blocked, and Ethan Barrican skated away through center. Just send it in. Knocked down by Hedman, unfortunately. We never got that puck all the way down. That's a big play by Victor Hedman in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. An elimination game for us. It's do or die. One more reminder for you. We currently possess the lead. Under 3 to go in the attacking zone. Picked up by Lindell. Just keep grinding a cycle here, guys. This is going to be the longest 2 minutes of my entire existence. Hyman. Oh my goodness. Puljujärvi. And that has tied the game. I'm so frustrated with that. And with exactly 2 minutes, the Oilers are pushing overtime at this stage of the game. That's a massive goal for Puljujärvi to tie the game. It was a play off a turnover, I do believe. It's off the outside of my net. And now things are getting a little too hairy for me. Last minute of play coming up in regulation. Will Game 6, a deciding game, see overtime? You just know that Puljujärvi goal has knocked the wind out of the arena. Another big one-time save from Jack Campbell. Another one in front. We've had a couple of one-time looks in a row, and Campbell has just said no every time, keeping the Oilers within a shout of overtime. We got to up the ante on offense. We just got to get right in there, chip it in, go chase it down. And oh boy, played in behind my net. If I can just make sure we get possession, I'm going to skate this out. I want us to make sure we've got possession. Kill as much time as possible so Edmonton can't. Oh, we're going to have a goalie fight. We're going to have a goalie fight between myself and Jack Campbell. And you know what? Might as well just throw him down. I got to prepare for overtime. I got to get Jack Campbell off his game for overtime. Throw a couple of knuckles in his face, and we're going to take him down. The home fans are certainly going to get their money's worth in this game tonight. What you got to say to me, Jack Roslovic? Get this crowd fired up for overtime. Well, I forgot that if you skate it close enough to the blue line, that a fight is spurred on. And oh my goodness, that was the game on Necas' stick. That was the perfectly placed rebound for Martin Necas. We had the game winner right there, and it's Jack Campbell. He is my official arch nemesis. I think my fights have only made him better. I don't think a soul in this building is seated as Game 6 goes to a game-deciding overtime. This could be a series-deciding overtime period. It is sudden death right here. And in the case of our team, it really is sudden death, because if we lose this overtime period, it's all over. So we're at 4-on-4 for a decent chunk of time, a good minute and a half. That is due to my fight with Jack Campbell at center ice. I've put things at 4-on-4, so it's almost like an old-school overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs. McDavid has possession, so you know McDavid's going to be on the ice as much as possible. Oh my goodness. And the Edmonton Oilers have taken a penalty here in overtime. We got 3 Oilers players in the box right now. Tyson Barrie joining his teammates for a slashing penalty. This is huge. You're done right, make some noise. This is a power play opportunity in Game 6, Stanley Cup Final, overtime, 4-on-3 power play, no less. And you just know Jack Campbell is going to show up to play on this penalty kill. We don't have a whole chunk of time at 4-on-3. It's only a minute of 4-on-3 time right now. It's flipped all the way down the ice. That gives me an opportunity to play it. And I'm going to just flip it just over the head of Mikheyev. But you understand what I was trying to do there. There needs to be a sense of urgency on this power play, because how many opportunities do you get to have a man advantage in the Stanley Cup final, overtime period, and Necas has been robbed a good 3-4 times. He's robbing Mikheyev now. Done everything but ultimately put that game-winning goal past Jack Campbell tonight. And I hope to God we do it. I hope we can win this game, because it extends the life in the series. We got to get that puck and get it moving as soon as possible. We're going to go to a 5-on-4 now. It'll be a 5-on-3, actually. No, it's a 5-on-4. I take that back for 44 seconds. You just know Tyson Barrie is having the longest seat in the penalty box in his entire career at this point. I wish I could have played that, because we could have got it advanced a lot sooner. The forecheck for the Oilers, while shorthanded, is causing some minor problems for us. It's bumped into Campbell by Bouchard, I think that was. Remember, we've gone to overtime in 2 other games in this specific series with the Edmonton Oilers, and we've scored odd goals on Jack Campbell in both of those prior overtime games. I believe it was, get out of my way, please. My God, a turnover to Hyman while the Oilers are shorthanded, and it just feels like this power play has been entirely wasted. Yeah, we missed our opportunities with that power play. It just a chance to end the game here, keep ourselves alive in the series, and the Oilers have a second life now, as they're going to get back to 5-on-5 for the overtime. And you got to have a feeling this just plays into the hands of the Edmonton Oilers right now. Look at that. We got 7 shots to Edmonton's none so far in this point in the overtime. And you gotta have a feeling that at some point Edmonton might break through in an overtime. We got very lucky in game 1. The first game in this series went to OT. And by some miracle, we found a way to win that one. And then we found another way to win by some miracle in, I believe it was game 4 in this building, which again for us was another must-win game, and we found a way to will ourselves to victory. And this is what I'm afraid of. Edmonton's top line on the ice. Block shot coming from Leon Draisaitl, but was blocked by Lindell. Edmonton's first line pushes things back in again. McDavid going between the legs back to Roslovic. And a good defensive play by Ethan Bear, keeping the first line at bay for right now. Already getting close to half of the OT period played out. And it's got to be no funny business now. We got to make smart, simple plays when it comes to moving the puck out of our zone, when it comes to moving through the neutral zone, when it comes to defending this Edmonton top line. And now that the game has gone back to 5-on-5, you can feel the slight tilt in the ice. It's definitely started to go in favor of Edmonton. They've had a last couple of good chances, and they're defending us really well as well. It seems to be favoring them at 5-on-5. Another good save from Campbell, but the Oilers cannot get it out. Their struggles to escape the zone right now persist. Can we take full advantage of this possession? Get a good look on the net. Try to put the game winner home here. Svechnikov back to Drouin. They try to force it in the slot area, and Campbell is going to get a lucky cover. Well, we put our captain out there. So we've got the leader, the captain, number 71, on the ice. He's been big and instrumental in game-winning goals. We're right back to that 1-4 trap, so I like to see that in front of me, because we've been pretty effective with shutting down opposing teams in the neutral zone with that setup. And we're going to need to shut down this high-flying Edmonton Oilers attack. If we run that for the rest of the game, then I don't know that there's much that Edmonton can do to gain access to the attacking zone blue line, and much less set up a play on offense. Well, when we get offensive opportunities, we need to be making the most of them. We need to be hitting the net. And I mean, ultimately, at some point, one of them has to go in the back of the net. Hyman in front. That's a huge save as it keeps the series alive. That's Pula Harvey, the guy that tied the game. The reason we're even in overtime in the first place in this one. KK has it across to Dylan Larkin. Inside out, the backhand move. I thought that might be the game. He certainly had it on his stick. And guess what? The Oilers' top line on the ice once more. You know that whoever's coaching the Oilers at this point is going to be trying to get McDavid and Draisaitl out there as much as possible. Their legs probably won't exist after this game. Oh my goodness, and I I nearly fumbled the game away. I came out to play it because I didn't want to deal with Leon Draisaitl, and this game continues here into overtime. And now it is flung back to me this time. I'm going to play this, try to be smart about it. And it's poke checked away. And back to center. I got wrapped up in a crazy play as I need to get back. Severson with an open net. We need to get back, and we don't have to make a save. It goes to McDavid. And it's all over. Conor McDavid has just won the Stanley Cup for the Edmonton Oilers on a psychotic sequence. And it's all over. The season is done. The Stanley Cup champions, the Edmonton Oilers. And the handshakes begin. God, Jack Campbell. What a series from Jack Campbell. And what a series from your Conn Smythe winner, the guy that won the cup, the cup-winning goal to Conor McDavid. Well-deserved to the captain. And a generational talent. Conor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. And, of course, the Stanley Cup. Unfortunate. They're going to lift it in our building, and they get revenge for 2006. It all ends on a hectic sequence in my end of the ice. I tried to do everything I could to help the team stay in the game, and just ultimately it was a weird play where I just got back to my net. You see McDavid touch the cup for the first time ever, and he raises it over his head in Raleigh, North Carolina. Our season is done, and it ends in disappointing fashion in Game 6 on home ice of the Stanley Cup Final. There's no guarantee we will ever get back here again on June 5th, 2026. It's all over for good. And it's not even my fault. We should have never even been to overtime. But, you know, I came out to play it. A weird play in the neutral zone as I was getting back to my net. Severson misses the net. It goes right to McDavid in the corner. And at that point, I didn't know what to do because McDavid had a clear-cut chance to just walk out in front. And, of course, number 97, Wood Pot, the game winner, to capture Edmonton's first Stanley Cup since 1990.